All right. Hello, everyone. I know the Bayley for the scoring for the discrepancy comparison is a little confusing, so I just wanted to make a quick video just in case everyone wanted a little more explanation. Also, shout out to Claire for making the scoring cheat sheet super nice and pretty because it was kind of a mess when we're trying to work on it. But yeah, shout out to Claire. So I'll start with the example that's all highlighted. So the one that's boxed off is this one when you're comparing the fine motor score to the gross motor score. So the first step is pretty easy. You just subtract score 2 from score 1. So 12 minus 10 is 2. So the difference now is 2. And then once you have the difference, you would go to the corresponding table. So then for this one, you would go to table B.3, which is right here. But for the other scores, you have to make sure you look at which table you go to. For this one, you would go to table B.4. So the difference is B.3 is for scaled scores and B.4 is for standard scores. So I'll do an example from the standard score later as well. But currently we're on this one, scaled score. So we go to table B.3. So table B.3 is right here. And we're comparing fine motor to gross motor. So we want to use FM-GM. We want to use this row. And then to find the critical value, you would have to know which significance level. So basically, this one, if Dr. Wong asks a question about this, he should give us the significance level, because in real life, if you're administering the Bayley 4, you would just pick your cells depending on how conservative you are. So for this example, if the given significance level is 0.10, which is checked off right here, you would go to here. And then since we're doing FM-GM, fine motor versus gross motor, with a significance level of 0.10, the critical value is 1.89. So right here, we put down the critical value as 1.89. And then to determine if it's significant or not, you just compare the two. So for the difference, you would take the absolute value. And just a quick reminder, absolute value, basically it says you get rid of a negative if it's negative. So since this 2 is a positive 2, because it was 12 minus 10, so the absolute value of positive 2 is still 2, so that's fine there, no change. And then 2 is greater than the critical value of 1.89. So you will circle yes for the significant. And it's greater than or equal to. So if the difference or the critical value was the same, you would also circle yes for significant, but in this case, it's greater than, and which is also significant. So after that, you circled the yes, you have the critical value. So now is the weird part at the very end is determining the base rate. So this one, since it's scaled score, we still use table B.3. So the table B.3 right here. And then for this one, you have to keep track of if the difference is a positive or a negative. So not the absolute value, but the actual sign of the number matters. So again, 12 minus 2 is a positive. 12 minus 10 is a positive 2. So you go to table B.3 up here, and we're comparing fine motor to gross motor. So you look at which difference it is. So since it's a positive 2, we're right here, a positive 2.0. So that means the base rate is this column heading, less than or equal to 25%. I believe the base rate just means that within the population, less than or equal to 25% of the population has a difference of 2.0 between their fine motor and gross motor. So I'll do an example from the other table as well. That might be not as, that might be a little more difficult just so everyone gets a chance. Let's do this one. So let's do standard score comparing cognitive versus motor. So again, you would subtract score 2 of 106 from score 1 of 90. So 90 minus 106 is negative 16. And then let's get the critical value from table B.4. So table B.4, we're comparing cognitive to motor. And again, the significance level should be given. And the given one is checked off as 0.10. So comparison of cognitive to motor with the significance level of 0.10 gives us a critical value of 7.91. So write down 7.91 here. And then, So this is why the absolute value matters, because negative 16 is less than positive 7.19. But if we take the absolute value of negative 16, it becomes 16, and 16 is greater than or equal to 7.91, the critical value. So it's greater, so we circle yes for significant. And then the base rate for this, again, we would need to use table B.4. So again, the positive and negative matters now. So we go to table B.4, look at we're comparing cognitive to motor, and this is the positive negative, right? So we try to look for a negative 16. And this one, we can't find an exact negative 16. The two options are negative 14 or negative 19. So you would pick 14 in this case because 19 is greater than 16. So we don't want the one that's greater than it. We want the next closest number that is less than it. So since 16 is between 14 and 19, we would choose the number closest to it that's less than it. So this would be negative 14, and our number was negative 16. So we take the base rate of less than or equal to 10%, and right here, base rate less than or equal to 10%. So hopefully that clears up the discrepancy comparison for Bayley 4. And good luck studying.